Welcome to another Chef Knives to Go Quick Look product review. I'm Steve Gamache, and in this edition, or episode, we are looking at the Fujiwara FKH Reactive Carbon Steel Sujihiki 270mm knife. This line of knives is a monosteel, all same steel construction. There's no cladding or layers, and the entire knife is made out of SK4 high carbon reactive steel, so this is not stainless at all. The steel is known to be fairly reactive, so once you get a good patina built up, then that'll reduce reactivity quite a bit. So a lot of people, some people force a patina or just use it on a variety of things and let it gain a natural patina. The heat treat rating is about 60 Rockwell on that core steel, so not super hard, so somewhat forgiving. And the weight is about 182 grams or 6.4 ounces on this knife. The blade length on this was a little bit above 270, so it's 274 on the edge. And the overall length was about 15.4 inches. The spine thickness was about 2¼ millimeter coming right out of the bolster. And then you will get a close-up look, but it carries most of that and then starts to thin out with a bit of taper as you get towards the tip. It's not super skinny at the tip. This blade has a little bit of meat to it. It's got some flex being shorter and thinner, but it's got a bit of meat at the spine. The blade height is 39.5 back at the chin here to the spine. And the handle is just your standard nice fit and finish on it. Good quality stabilized black packawood, so it's resin impregnated for good moisture resistance. And let's see, while we got it down here, balance point on this one is just in front of the bolster, so right about there where my finger is. And one of the things I like about this lineup, I wish the FKM series did this, but they've got some really well done embossed, deep embossing on it, kanji symbols and such on there, and Maker's Mark, etc. And it's really well done, and it's got a nice classy appearance to it, and I think it elevates the look of this quite a bit to more traditional look versus the screened on kanji on the stainless series. So pretty nice addition in my book. Nice touch. You can see the grind of these blades are all pretty consistent. I've seen different models from this lineup, and they all have a pretty highly asymmetric grind and edge bevel oriented towards right-handers. So I'm a lefty, so I'm pretty carefully watching for those things. And so this has a fair amount of contour grind on the right side of the blade. This is the right side as you hold it. And the left side of the blade is much flatter. It's not perfectly flat, but it's quite a bit flatter than the right side of the blade. The actual edge bevel itself, you can see the edge bevel shining near the darker area or light when I get to it. It's fairly large. It's pretty polished, but that large bevel is the right side of the blade, and that's the actual edge. And the right side of the blade is quite a bit smaller. So it's fairly asymmetric. I'd say at least 70-30 right hand to left hand bias. So this is not really a left-hand oriented grind or edge bevel on this particular blade. You can kind of see the fit and finish there. Let's take a look at the profile. You don't normally use these quite so much on the board, although they're perfectly adequate for tasks when you need them. So the profile's fairly flat, but kind of a gentle curve throughout. Let's look at it. Again, these are oriented more towards slicing duties. But if you want to use it on the board, it does have a fair amount of clearance. You might have to optimize your grip a little bit, but here's the profile on the cutting board. They do have a nice smooth profile into the belly. You do have a little bit of back belly right here, or back curve to the blade. But again, this is not really totally oriented towards board work. It's more due for slicing duties. So again, fit and finish is really pretty darn good on these. My only issue sometimes is the sharpness of the corners on the back of the blade, at the choil here, and also a little bit on the spine. So you could hit that area with a little bit of sandpaper, clean that up, and make it a bit more comfortable out of the box. So there you have a quality Sujihiki with all reactive steel, a monosteel construction, the Fujiwara FKH Carbon Sujihiki 270mm knife.